Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day of whatever time you are watching this presentation. My name is John Romang. We're doing our virtual museum tour. My museum was the Getty.edu, and when you go there, it automatically slashes you to museum. When we are on this, I just want to start off by showing you a picture of my lovely face. This is to let you know what I look like when I'm speaking. Instead of doing a video conference or a call or doing this webcam stuff on Teams or whatever else we have to use, you don't have to see my face, but at least you understand what I look like while I'm speaking. And I think that's really important to visualize that. We're going to talk about the Getty Museum. With the Getty Museum, this is the Getty Center, the Getty Villa, the Getty Museum, all in Los Angeles, California. This is a very rich museum. They had $6.7 billion coming into 2017. They are a free museum. They do charge for parking, $10 to $15, but to get into the museum, it is free. They do have a lot of educational programs that we are going to be talking about. And with that said, I could probably spend the next half an hour talking to you just about the Getty Foundation, the Getty Museum, the Getty Center. But instead of that, we're going to focus on the website the best we possibly can and not get distracted by this incredible fortress of art. So let's go ahead and jump to the website. We are at the website, fairly easy to use. There was no real issues that I had navigating this. Was very simple, very clean. And I know you're thinking, the Getty Museum, I've heard of that before. And if you have heard of that before, it's probably because of the Getty Museum Challenge that has been on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all over the place. With that challenge came from this Getty Museum. What the Getty Museum Challenge is, it's when you recreate a famous work of art using household items that you have around your house. This was a project that I did do with my students in the COVID situation of learning remotely. It was an interesting project to do. I got a lot of good feedback from mine and I got a lot of weak ones, but I did get some good ones, and I will share this one with you right now. She recreated The Old Guitarist by Picasso. She did a great job. She found a ukulele instead of a guitar. She found a great position to sit into. She got that left corner of the painting, repeated that with a window. She has that blue tone throughout the whole thing. And my very favorite part of this was the fact that she had rolled up tiny pieces of newspaper onto her shoulder just to imitate the ripped tear of the guitarist's shoulder coming out. This was a project that the students, the ones that did get into it, got into it, and they made it really fun. And the only problem that I had with this project was that the students could not see the enthusiasm I had when I opened up my emails and I saw pictures that they created that looked like the image, such as this. This was a great and easy way to introduce art history into the classroom. It was very simple to do. The kids could look up their own artwork that they wanted to find in the Getty Museum catalog, which has an enormous amount of pictures that we'll get to in a minute. But they could find any kind of famous work from that catalog, go into that catalog, find their work, get it recreated, get their friends involved, get multiple people involved. We had moms involved. I had some family members involved. I had little brothers and sisters involved. It was a fun little experience for them. I will be repeating this project in the fall or spring of next year whenever we get back to school. This is a great and easy way for art history to be mingled into your classroom without it being uninclusive. I think art history has a way of alienating some of my students, as in this might be too hard, this might not be what I'm looking for. This was a fun challenge for them to do, and I think they all really enjoyed working on this project. So that's one project just to start off the bat with our Getty Museum challenge and the Getty Museum website. it will be, again, very, very easy to navigate throughout this whole thing. I'm going to start up here at the very top, just to start with the resources. With the resource page, they do have a lot of stuff for students that are actually in LA and visiting and making day trips. Unfortunately, I am not in LA and I don't plan on being in LA. So a lot of the extra stuff that they have for these students is outside of the realm of me seeing. But they do have enough information to make it exciting and very accessible for every single other person in the world to go to. I'm going to start over here with the art collection. We're going to go to the art collection, and in the art collection, what they have is they have different the starting points of your sculptures, your photographs, your paintings. They have different layers ready to go. I'm going to start with the drawings here, and I kind of got different ideas by looking through this, and I think that when you're watching and looking for new projects, even though it's June and I know I'm not teaching again until August, I'm still thinking about projects that I want to do with my students and eventual future projects I want to do with my students. When I was going through these, I came across this Van Gogh artwork. If you just pull it up, it'll be very easy for you guys to do, but when you click on it, goodness. Makes me look like a fool. Click on that. There we go. This will give me all the information I possibly could ever need onto this picture. It gives you your title, your culture, your dates, your mediums, and it gives you little quotes down here as well. This is great to have anytime you're doing a project and you have some background information for the students. My favorite part about this whole Getty Museum webpage is down here when I want to download a picture. Not everything is free to download. Some of these images you do pay for. I tried to go through the process of paying for it or getting it for free, because if you're an educator or you're using it for research or presentations, they will give it to you for free. But the web page that you go to for some of those images, it will ask for everything you could possibly have. They wanted, your date of birth. They wanted your phone number. They wanted your email address. And for this, I didn't feel like giving up all of that information just to see what it would be like. But I feel it's a lot like this picture right here. So when I go to download, it gives you two different things. It gives you a presentation study size, and it gives you the print resolution. What a smart idea. If I need to print this out, I'm not trying to adjust it when I go into my word processing or my Adobe or wherever I'm going to print from. This will print this out and download it to your computer, and it'll give you that size that you need to do so you can transfer it over to whoever's making copies for you at the school, or if you're making a copy, you can print one out of your computer and it's ready to go. Same with the presentation. If I'm doing this in PowerPoint, I'm ready to go. I can download the PowerPoint size. I can get a good resolution instead of going to Google Images and trying to find what number is that. Is that 1,000 by 1,000? Is this 800 by 24? Where am I at? This will give you a great resolution size, ready to go every single time. It works perfect. That could be my favorite little nuance of the Getty images that they have, is this downloadable thing. So again, just to focus back on this would be a project I would do with my elements of line. I've done a bunch of different elements, but coming across this, you just kind of really get the idea of line in a picture. You get those little lines, the hash lines, cross hatching in there, and just tiny little sections of lines. This would be a good example that I would use for my classroom when I was doing the elements of line. If you go back at the very top, I should just say, you're going to go to education. I'm going to hit on teachers and students. On the left hand side here, I'm just going to go for resource for the classrooms. I'm not going to go through all the other stuff. We're just going to go straight to resources for the classrooms. In there, it'll tell you on the left hand side still, hanging out over here, search for lessons and activities. Now, when you search, again, I'm in high school. If you're in elementary, if you're in junior high, if you're in middle, whatever you might do, you can find the project that will relate to you. Since I'm high school, I'm going to click high school. I'm going to click visual arts, and I'm going to click not activities. I'm just going to click lesson plans. Go with it. So we're going to search this out. real quick. And when you do that, I get 95 different results for a sculpture or a project that I want to do with my students. Going through this, I saw the civil rights through image and text. I thought that would be a good current event to talk and work with. Now, when you're doing this and going across it, you get a couple things that I really, really enjoy. The thing that I enjoy with this is the fact that they've written out a lesson plan for you, and a very detailed lesson plan for you. Just to begin with, they're going to throw out the high school level that you're working with. They're going to throw out your subject levels that you can cover. It'll tell you how many classrooms or class times it'll take for you, and it'll give you your materials. It's just a straight up lesson plan. I mean, that's the easiest you can make it. I haven't written a lesson plan for 15 some years now, even though I've been teaching for 15. You get in the habit of finding your own way to write your own lesson plans. I have not written a formal lesson plan since probably my very first observation in 2006. And after that, they realized, and I realized, they do not want formal lesson plans written, at least in my districts. Your districts might be different. Mine do not need it. So I've dropped a lot of that information out of my head, which is really nice to look back and see it all. You can download this lesson and have that onto your Word, and then once you have it on your Word, you can enable editing, and you can edit that any way you would like to change it around. But it goes through here, and if you don't want to download it, it is all underneath each one of these. It'll go through the poems you need to have. It has what are you going to write on the board, follow this out, go through your discussions. Here are some questions. Can you answer your questions? Here's your assessments, and this is your evaluation here at the end. So this was a really great thing to see a lesson plan written out again, which I really just enjoyed. And this goes for every single lesson they have. But I was trying to think of something that would be useful to me. And when it's useful to me, what happens is I think about my substitutes. And a substitute has to come into my classroom, and normally, because I'm teaching high school now, it's a bit easier for me to do. But when I was teaching elementary or junior high, if the students missed my class, they would miss a week of art, and I hated that. Having a website that I can go through, find an objective that I want to work with, something my students can work with, something I can give a step-by-step lesson to a sub for, is an enormous amount of relief for me. So during this upcoming school year, what I will be doing over the summer is I'm actually going to be going through this website and editing and changing this to make myself basically emergency sub plans. So in case I'm not there, if the projects are kind of getting to the end, I can just say, go to the red folder. In there, you will find the lesson, and I can have my students start one of these projects that I would gladly take over when I need to take over, when I'm able to get back to school, regardless of the emergency. But I'll know what they're doing, and the sub won't be lost. And hopefully the sub will want to teach it. We all know that subs might want to teach it, or they might want to survive. Depends on the day. So I'm going to go back here just a little bit. So I'm back here at the home page, and we're just going to kind of scroll through here just real quick. They had a great thing for this Animal Crossing game, which I do not play, but I know a lot of people do play it. This would give you a step-by-step instruction on how to get artwork into your Animal Crossing games, and great detailed instructions on how to do it. I don't own this game. I've never played this game, but after reading all the instructions, I could definitely get artwork into this game now. Some of the other wonderful, great things that they have that I enjoyed was this free publications down here. And I'm on the very main page. I'm just scrolling. And you can actually get their works, which is great. And now I'm just going to read online here because that was the quickest and easiest way to do. But they give you the whole book. And I know I have this Google thing. I know it sounds like a lot of different stuff. This is actually the whole book. I've gone through it a couple times. Not gone through and read the whole thing, but I've scrolled up and down to make sure it actually give me the whole book, and it seemed to give me a lot of pages for this book, the whole 200 some pages. But the idea that you can just get a free book or free publishing from them is an amazing little resource you can have for that as well. Thank you for your time. I'm on the 15-minute situation because I didn't understand how to do all the other fun stuff. Again, thank you. The Getty image works great, works quick. There's a lot of information here in a very, very short time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.